What advice would you give to young people, or just people in general that are trying to figure out their sexuality or how to speak about their sexuality?
I'd say try and read widely on issues around sexuality. Books like mine, but also other books might help you to navigate whether or not um, you're what labels there are, and also whether or not those labels are good for you. I think things like the Klein grid are really helpful, especially for people who are more analytically minded, like you and I. I think it gives you a construct to work with and numbers to work with, and that can be really helpful to try and go almost seeing your sexuality as a mathematical equation. And I think that can be quite useful. And if that's how you think, then look at the Klein grid and see if that helps you to navigate things.
A bit of a tricky question, but what are the pros and cons of coming out publicly as a non-standard sexuality?
Hmm.
Was that from a recommendation perspective? What are some benefits and what are some challenges?
So the benefits are that you can live authentically. You can just be yourself. So I do feel more free in who I am and who I'm able to sort of be online, for example, now that I'm out. And because I came out after in my 30s, I think also it was almost a foot in the door technique as well, which is a psychological technique of first coming in and then coming with your big ask. And so I'd already published 2 books.
Yeah.
I was already an established scientist. I think if I tried bi first, I wouldn't have been able to publish the book. It was the first mainstream book on bisexuality ever. And B, I don't think I would have been taken seriously as a scientist. And so having the other stuff first and then bi, as sort of a side project, that was acceptable. But I think the other way around wouldn't have
I
been.
think it was still brave. I think you mentioned somewhere, maybe in an interview, that there was some concern of being sexualized when you covered the topic of sexuality.
There still is. But I actually find that it's done the opposite most of the time. So I think as a woman, especially a young woman who's in the public eye, you're sexualized anyway, unfortunately. And so that is and was already a huge part of my online experience. And actually, I think coming out as bi, you get sort of allies who suddenly are like, we're on your side, we're going to help you fight sort of the hypersexualization. And people get almost more weird about it in a good way. They get a bit quiet about it because they're like, oh, well, now it's an identity thing. So maybe I shouldn't comment on what she's wearing. And it almost disarmed some of the more sexualized comments. So for me, I have to say it was mostly a positive experience.
The incels didn't know what to do with it.
Exactly. Like,